Hey peeps, we are back. We are talking The Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 13, episode 1. The Jersey girls are back. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. But before we get into the show, I wanted to let you guys know that I do have a new series called What Would the Peeps Do? Check it out. I'm interested in your thoughts. Now on to the show. So when the show starts off, we find out that Dolores has a new guy named Paul. She's been dating him for about 2 years. And I'm excited that she's got a boyfriend because maybe she can use this as a storyline because she really hasn't had anything going on for such a long period of time. Now, Frank is trying to find out what his place is in this new world that Dolores is living in. Paul is old school and he says, this is his girl. He doesn't have time to fool around. He's not like David. He's not making space for Frank. It turns out that Frank is still living with David, which this is the weirdest friendship relationship I have ever seen in my life. I don't really blame Paulie at all. He's in a relationship with Dolores. He doesn't want to come over every day and find Frank here. It's not as if their kids are still school age. They are not. Frank does not need to live at the house. They do not need to see each other every single day. Frank has this girlfriend. Her name is Brittany. She's 33 and he's 58. I don't really care about the age difference. Age is just a number. However, if they are both happy, they are feeling loved and respected, I could care less. Just bring something to the season, Brittany. Jen is over at her house. She is laid up with a broken toe. She said that she felt as if she had been given the evil eye because she had that big falling out with the girls. Somebody stole her car. Then she ended up going through some sort of evil eye cleansing treatment thing with her mom, some sort of custom that she says didn't work because she ended up going to Tulum with Teresa and broke her foot. Her daughter says it's not the evil eye, you're just an idiot. Now listen, I'm not here for that. Not for my own child, but I was here for it on the show. I laughed, but I thought to myself, maybe it's not because she's an idiot. Maybe she's just a klutz. Now, her and Dolores have not spoken since the reunion. She feels like Dolores was not a good friend to her. Dolores is upset because she thinks that she was a great friend to Jen, and she can't understand why Jen is upset with her. Jen has also not gotten over the fact that Dolores called her the see you next Tuesday. And let me tell you something, honey, I'll draw the line at the see you next Tuesday. As soon as you think you're about to fix your lips to call me the see you next Tuesday, I'll rip off your damn lips. I'm just saying, friendship over. Period. Melissa decides that she wants to have an 80s skate party. I think that was an amazing idea. I love the 80s. I love everything about the 80s. Let me tell you something. In the 80s, I had so much lace. I had all the rubber bracelets. I had the banana clips. I mean, I was the Black Madonna. I am serious. I was going to dress you in my love. I'm just saying. Oh, man, I loved Madonna. All of it. Come on, Eileen. I mean, wow. The 80s was everything. Mr. Tears for Fears. Oh, wow. Duran. Run DMC. MC Light. Roxanne. Anyway, let me move on. So in the show, Melissa says that Teresa never got back to her after the night of the reunion and that she had texted Teresa after the reunion. Well, they showed a little text, but somebody dropped all the text. I'm going to go ahead and put them in this video. You can pause and read the text. It turns out that Teresa did not get back to her right after the reunion, and I don't really blame her. She had just had that surgery. The reunion was really, really brutal, and it was a long day of arguing, screaming, and having it out. After that reunion, if I was Teresa or any of the ladies, all I would want to do is have something to eat and go to bed. So I can understand that. However, when Teresa did get back to her, according to these text messages, it was a couple months later, like 2 weeks before filming, when she actually started to reach out to Melissa. Listen, Dolores, when she was on Watch What Happens Live, she said that she thinks that they should cut ties. I think if they cut ties, there's pros and cons to it. The pros are that they can just release, relax, and let go. The con is their family. Joe and Teresa are the only family members left. They don't have any brothers or sisters, and their parents would be devastated to find out that they are not together anymore. And so I wish they could find a way to work through this. We did get a chance to see Teresa celebrating her 50th birthday with Louis' family, and they seemed like really nice people. His mom is a therapist. They seem down to earth. I love the centerpiece in the table. They seem to really accept Teresa as a part of their family, and the girls accept them as family as well. I think they look really happy together. Now listen, when they get to the skating rink, I was here for it. I was super excited. I said, oh man, this is great. Look at all this neon, the lights. I remember going to the skating rink and it being everything. You know, on a Friday night, everybody was at the skating rink. It takes two to make a thing go right. You know what I mean? Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. I mean, the Beastie Boys. Honey, now listen, I loved me some Beastie Boys. Anyway, moving on. Marge was out there having the time of her life, reliving the love for the 80s, and she fell real hard. I laughed because, you know, Marge irritates me, and I thought this was just karma. But then when she hurt her wrist, I felt bad. I said, daggone it, I done laughed at this woman, and she done fractured her daggone wrist. Sorry, Marge. We also find out that Teresa is now seeing a therapist. I think that's really good. But I think that it has a lot to do with Louis. I love to see growth. You know, she has to be able to look back over these last 12 seasons and realize that she does have some sort of anger management problem. I don't know exactly what it is because I am not a therapist. She is reactive and it is too much. At some point, she could realize that she's going to lose a lot if she continues to go on acting like this. So it seems that each one of the housewives have gotten a friend. So Teresa has a friend who's joined the cast. Her name is Danielle. Danielle to me seems like a little Teresa. But I do appreciate that for the 80s party, she crimped her hair. Remember crimping? I used to crimp my hair too. Oh my gosh, I was cute. Anyway, we meet Danielle and she's pretty cool. She's got a husband and 2 kids. She's very cute. She's very Teresa. I'm sorry. I could just tell she is about to be a firecracker. Then we meet Jennifer. So now we have 2 Jennifers on the show. This Jennifer is Marge's friend. And you know what? So far, I like this Jennifer. She seems to be calm and rational, and she also seems to be extremely considerate. So I'm team this Jennifer. I like her so far. Then we meet Rachel, who is Melissa's friend. And Rachel, so far, so good. I mean, she did irritate me later on in the episode when she accused Jen of being a hypocrite because she shaded Marge about being a cheater. And I just wanted to verify, listen, we are not going back to season 12. Rachel, cut the shit. Jen is not a hypocrite. Okay, Marge and Joe are cheaters. Bill is a cheater. Jen was cheated on. Now, she may have transferred her anger from Bill to Marge, which was wrong. She should not have done that, but she is not a hypocrite. So let's move forward in this conversation. Now, what I thought was absolutely hilarious, embarrassing, and dreadful was in the middle of a conversation with Jackie, Rachel, and Melissa. Jackie tried to come for Rachel, talking about she hasn't looked at her not once in this conversation and she needs to watch her social skills or social management or something. And I said, girl, this is embarrassing. You are a friend of. Why would she focus on you? I can see that you're trying to get your role back and trying to get some screen time. But no, ma'am, we are not interested. Okay. Not only that, she's talking to Melissa, not you. What does she need to look at you for? And by the way, get some manners. I'm just saying. So when Jen gets there, Jen Aiden, I guess I'm just going to say Jennifer A. When she gets there, she's upset that Dolores isn't talking to her. And Dolores is upset that Jen's not talking to her, but Dolores didn't want to talk to Jen. And I said, well, what the hell is this? You both are over 40. You're both at the same party. And clearly you have something to say, so why don't you just say it? I'm not about to go around the party whispering and telling everybody she's not even talking to me. She didn't say hi to me when she got here. Oh my gosh, she walked away. Why would I waste my time doing that? I've got plenty of 80s music. We've got food. We've got skates. I've got other things to do. Let's sit down and talk about this. Let's get this all cleared up. Either we're going to be friends and make up or we're not. Teresa invites Marge to come over to have cheese and crackers. And I said, well, thank you for the menu. I mean, okay. Marge says, why? Did you want to bury me in your backyard? I laughed. I thought that was hilarious. Marge is good for a laugh from time to time. Then Marge made some kind of comment about missing a meal and how she always loves to eat. And I thought that was really good. Marge is able to laugh now at Teresa's comment about her last season about Marge never misses a meal. Dolores puts the girls together and tells them that she would like to have a charity calendar with all of the housewife husbands, and they all agree to it. Now, let me just tell you, I am all for charity. I would be happy to support the charity, but give my calendar to somebody else. I was not impressed by any of these photos. I was not impressed by any of these husbands. I do appreciate that all the wives were, oh my God, my husband's so cute. Oh my God, look at him. Oh my God. I mean, that's great because wives should, fawn over their husbands and everything. But no, thank you. My husband used to be a model. Oh my God, can you believe this? Oh God, look at Joe. No, ma'am. Here is my donation. Please pass my calendar to the next woman. I'm good. I didn't appreciate it. And you know what else I didn't appreciate? That Marge is still taking every chance she can get to emasculate Joe. Joe is trying to take his pictures on this motorcycle. She's bringing up his belly. I said, man, he is already standing next to these men with rock hard abs. And here is his wife. It's always your family that's throwing the man under the bus. Leave this man the hell alone. Personally, next time, Dolores, if you're going to put a charity calendar together, use Marge's little puppy. That dog is the cutest little thing. I would buy 3 of those calendars. I'm just saying, that dog is the best.
Maybe this has nothing to do with negative energy, and you're just like an airhead.
Well, I texted her that day and said, I'm fine not being in the wedding. All of a sudden, I got a text inviting us to Teresa's 50th birthday.
You don't even want us at your wedding. I'm surprised you didn't call him a bitch boy a long time ago.
Listen, now he's punishing me. Like tonight, they said they have plans.
It's childish, it's selfish.
I don't even think it's my brother. I think it's Melissa, and he just follows along.
But it's weak, immature. His insecurities are screaming.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Literally having the time of my life.
So I wanted to invite you over to my house.
To what, to bury me in the backyard?
No, so we can talk.
But she knows I don't miss a meal.
Do you believe I have 4 dogs? No. I'm like, oh my God, how am I gonna live with him with all these dogs?
My son and I had anxiety too. We were like, how are we gonna live with 5 girls?
5 bitches.
I mean, come on.
Okay, so Marge is on her way over to see Teresa and Louie, her and Joe. Before she gets there, Marge says that she wants an apology from Teresa. Teresa wants an apology from Marge. While they're having this conversation, before Marge gets there, Teresa and Louie are in the kitchen and they're having a conversation. Louie calls Joe childish, selfish, weak, and immature. Now listen, even though I agree, I would really not want my husband calling my brother those things. It would be hard for me to listen to my husband call my brother childish, selfish, weak, and immature. I can say that about my brother, but you can't. Is that crazy? Is that wrong? I don't know. I just couldn't go for it. Teresa actually agreed with him, and I thought, oh my God, this is going to be one hell of a reunion. Now, there was some stuff that Teresa said on her podcast.
I gave birth on the show. I went to prison on the show. I got divorced on the show. I got married on the show. I buried my parents on the show. This is what I've done. And her story is I didn't return a text message. That's her storyline. We are not the same. Never been, never will. My brother's the one that talked about Louis on the show in the first place. I didn't even want to talk about Louis. My brother is the one, again, for storyline, talks about,
brought it up.
I'm seeing this man. I didn't want my brother to say that I was seeing someone. And it's my story to tell, not his.
Right.
And my brother, he's the one that brought him out on the show. And it's like, this is my life, not yours. I know you all have a storyline, and I've been your storyline for the past 10 years. That gravy train is over. Seriously, totally done.
Now, honey, now listen. I agree. She gave birth. She went to jail. She got a divorce. She got married again. She buried her parents. What has Joe and Melissa done? Not a damn thing. I agree with her 100%. The gravy train is over. You got to put up or shut the hell up. You cannot let another season go by with Teresa being your storyline. Now, Marge was trying to be funny, but I don't think it was funny when she referred to Teresa's daughters as bitches. That's not funny. That's not cute. Read the damn room, Marge. She was really lucky that Teresa didn't lose it on her. You know, Louis interrupting Teresa to tell Teresa to stop interrupting Marge. It's something about Louis that I just can't put my finger on, but I don't really trust him. And I do think that he is a little controlling for my taste. Don't interrupt me and don't tell me who to be. I don't appreciate it. And definitely don't do that in front of people. Respect me enough not to be disrespectful to me like that. I don't know. I don't like that about Louis. Also, did anybody notice that Teresa did the apologizing and Marge did not apologize to Teresa? Marge saying that she was only talking about Louis last season because she was concerned about Teresa is an outright lie. If that woman was truly concerned about Teresa, she absolutely never would have continued to bash him and bring up all that negative stuff about him. She would have reached out to Teresa off camera and said, listen, I am concerned about you. As your friend, I want to know, have you looked into any of these allegations against him? I just want to be sure that you're okay and that you're going into this with your eyes open. That's what a friend would have done. And she's also lying when she said that if she would have known, if Teresa would have come to her and just said that her talking about Louis was hurting her, she would have stopped. That's a lie, because Teresa talked to her multiple times and asked her to stop talking about Louis, and she continued. She made it her crusade. It was her full storyline for the whole season. And Melissa releasing that text message to the rest of the group, letting them know that Teresa asked her not to talk about Louis, that was not, I'm trying to help you out by telling the group not to talk about Louis. That was Melissa using that as a storyline. If she really cared about her and Teresa's relationship and she cared about keeping the family together, she would have read the text message and not said a word. She would have responded back to Teresa, I got your text message. I will not bring Louis up. But instead, she filled everyone in on Teresa's text message, which fueled the fire and created a situation where everybody wanted to talk about Louis. I think that for some reason, she truly believed that she did nothing wrong and that she did not need to apologize. She did owe Teresa an apology. I mean, Marge went through the entire season 12 making it her job to destroy Teresa and Louis, to bring up every negative, nasty story she could find out about Louis. She was really a piece of work last season, and she doesn't believe she owes Teresa an apology. And then when Louis called Melissa insecure, I knew right then, I said, Marge is going to run back and tell that. She is going to run back and tell that. Right before she left, she told Teresa that they were going to start over new. They were going to be honest and not try to hurt each other. But as soon as she got the opportunity to tell Melissa that Louis called her insecure, she ran. She made a beeline to Melissa. I don't think that Louis should have gotten involved and called Melissa insecure. Stay out of the women's fight. If you want to call Joe insecure, childish, weak, do that. You and Joe can handle that, the two of you. But stay out of these women's business. Do I think that Melissa might act insecure sometimes? I have no idea, but I do know that she's extremely petty and without a storyline. I also haven't seen much change in Joe and Melissa after all of these seasons. They are not doing anything different or new.
Margaret, it was week after week me hearing something negative.
Because we were concerned at the time.
I don't give a It's like, leave me alone. You're hurting our family. You're hurting his kids. Stop what you're doing.
But if you would have said, this is hurting me. Or,
No, because you're cutting her off and you're
I'm
speaking
not
over.
cutting her off.
No, you just cut me off.
Okay, so well, because I'm working on myself.
But what about Melissa and Joe?
I felt like my brother and Melissa should have said to you, nobody speaks
But-
badly
okay,
about
but we're-
Louis.
Oh, but
Why-
that's displaced.
And that's why I didn't ask her to be in my wedding. When I texted Melissa, please don't talk about Louis. What does she do? Come out and read you guys the text.
Teresa just texted me, do not say a word, back up my boyfriend, and blah, blah, blah.
No, it shows actually insecurity from a woman. Like she's an insecure woman if she has to do something like that.
Are you doing this to make him happy? Do you really want him?
No, I'm
'Cause
being
now you're not
honest.
mad
I'm
anymore.
being raw as a cucumber. I think I'm really sorry.
Joe, maybe cover the stomach a little bit.
Where are the girls? Oh, yeah.
I clearly don't really want to be around her because by Xing my wife out of the wedding, it just kind of shows like she doesn't give a
She was upset about when she sent that text message, back Louis up when we were at your shore house. I was like,
What did Louis say?
Louis was just like, he goes, that was a very insecure move on Melissa's part.
Insecure move
woman.
on my part? He's calling
Insecure
me
woman.
insecure?
That's
insane. I mean, when she was with David, you know how many times I could have said, when a man's with you for 5 years and he still don't know, guess what? It's no. That's the answer. I do think that it was hypocritical. I mean, you're married to somebody that cheated on you and you're literally chastising her for the same thing.
How did I chastise her? Give me an example.
Well,
Tell me.
I'm just saying.
You don't even know. You're saying that and you don't even know.
I will say something. You haven't looked at me once during this conversation.
I'm so
like, I'm
sorry,
just,
Jack.
no. I just think it's nice, like, social skills.
You've told so many people, Jennifer, that I haven't been a good friend to, and they're
That's how I
fine.
feel. That's how I feel. You sided with everybody else.
I didn't
and
side
then you
with
just
everybody.
thought she was gonna be nice, and she's that she always is. I learned that word from you, babe.
Good, you should learn more from me.
I should. How to be a bitch and a up friend. She looks like an old handbag.
So, in the middle of editing this video, I found there has been more text messages released. It looks as if these text messages are between Louis, Melissa, and Joe. So it turns out that back on May the 4th, when Louis was planning everything for Teresa's 50th birthday, Louis reached out to Joe and Melissa on a group text, and he was pretty much trying to bridge the gap between the family. He was trying his best to bring the family back together, and he asked Joe and Melissa if they would like to celebrate Teresa's birthday. They were going to be going to Mexico, and he had a private jet. Everything would be taken care of, all expenses, airfare, accommodations, all of that. It was going to be between the 19th of May and the 23rd of May. He also mentioned that it was a private event, so the show would not be there. And I'm going to put all these texts in the video so you can put it on pause and read them. But he was saying that it was a private event, so the TV show would not be there. They would be able to just be themselves and focus on celebrating Teresa's birthday, but also work on their relationship. He also says that he hopes that they receive his message with love from both him and Teresa, and that he has love for both Joe and Melissa. Joe pretty much comes back and he says, Teresa has made it very clear that she doesn't want anything to do with us. She kicked my wife out of the wedding. Pretty much they are not here for it. There's no need for him to invite them to anything. They don't want to have anything to do with Teresa, especially after the reunion. Louis comes back with a little more couth, and he says, listen, I understand that you guys are having a tough time. Joe had also called Louis fake. Louis says that he is not fake. However, they are on a TV show, and he says there's nothing that you can really do to bridge the gap with your family or bring your family back together on TV. This is something that needs to happen privately. He doesn't think that they'll be able to fix their relationship and grow in the relationship in the public eye. They need to handle these things privately. He says on the show, everything is so combative and superficial. He says when you're in person together as a family, you can recover. You don't have pressure to perform. And he says, you know, he's been in this family for about 2 years at the time of this text message, and he knows that everybody loves each other and they can work together to bring them close again. Joe and Melissa just don't want to hear it. They are not part of this conversation. They are exhausted. Louis, in the end, comes back and says he understands that families have disagreements. He has had disagreements with his siblings as well, but they were able to sit down, hear each other out, and now they are so happy for it. They are really a happy family and they are blessed. And he was trying to tell them that they can do the same, but they don't want to hear it. And that's probably why he said that Joe was childish, because they don't want to listen. Anyway, I'm paraphrasing all of that. Please put your video on pause and read these text messages. It's very interesting how hard Louis was trying to get them all together, and they just were not here for it. And so if you are not here for it, it seems to me, one, they're probably just burned out and tired. Two, why would we make peace with you when we can use this for our storyline? That's my opinion. Anyway, you guys, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. Back at the photo shoot, I think that Dolores is in some kind of denial. I really do. Dolores was flip-floppy all season last season. She was talking mad crap about Jen, especially when Jen wasn't around. But then when Jen was around, she seemed as if she was Team Jen. So when Jen had a chance to see the whole season, of course at the reunion she lost her crap on Dolores, but for Dolores to call her the "see you next Tuesday" was absolutely ridiculous. And for Dolores to sit around and act as if she has no accountability in this argument, it's crazy. Dolores, you flip-flopped all season. And when Jennifer said that she looked like a freaking old handbag, I said, oh, Lord. That is so rude. Speaking of Dolores, can I just say Dolores and Teresa, they are doing too much with the spray tan. I'm starting to understand why Wendy Williams calls Dolores Black Dolores. They are heavy with the spray tan. I'm just saying. They look nice though. I don't know, you guys. This season premiere was pretty decent. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of this season. Get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.